I sit alone in my four-cornered room staring at candles. Oh, that shit is on?
Look, Mr. Garaki, just leave me alone, will ya?
Shut your mouth, essay!
We're back. Hey YouTube, I'm your host, James. This is my channel, James Ruins Movies, and this is our fourth video now. I knew I really wanted to do like a comedy today, and I've noticed I've been staying way too much in the 90s, so I wanted to do something a little more recent for this video. Not too recent, but it is in the 2000s, and I really wanted to do a comedy because I've noticed most to if not all comedies that come out now are just incredibly bad. Like, I'm sure some people enjoy them, but they're just not good. But in the mid-2000s, so many great comedies came out. You had like Superbad, Accepted, Borat, Without a Paddle, Little Miss Sunshine. And the movie we're going to talk about today isn't even the best movie around that time. Pretty much everyone agrees that that movie is Tropic Thunder, and we'll talk about that movie another time. Now, around this time also, we saw a lot of comedy groups coming out, or at least the same comedic actors in the same movies. They usually took the comedy duo approach to these movies, which is one person being the funny man and one person being the straight man. Now, the funny man is usually just all out crazy, while the straight man is maintaining order of the funny man, but feeding lines to the funny man as well. Now, this dates back to forever ago, and we've seen so many variations of it throughout the years. Personally, I think the best to ever do it was Abbott and Costello. I love everything they've ever done. Now, they didn't really do that in this movie, and that's what I like. Both of them just have moments of being the straight man and the funny man, and moments of just being completely serious or completely losing their shit. They play off each other in such a brilliant way, and really everyone in this movie plays off each other amazingly. Now, the movie we're going to talk about today is Step Brothers. Step Brothers came out in 2008 and is rated R. It was directed by Adam McKay, who's brilliant, and produced by Judd Apatow, who's a legend. It stars Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. Now, this is the second movie to have Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly, and Adam McKay. Their first being Talladega Nights, and that's actually where they started to come up with the concept for this movie. Now, what I like about both of these movies is it's the first time we really got to see John C. Reilly be hilarious. He was amazing in Boogie Nights, and maybe he was in one or two other things that were really funny, but he really showed it when he was with Will Ferrell. Because before that, he was more of a serious actor. He was more like in What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Perfect Storm, Gangs of New York, but he could do both with no problem. Will Ferrell's pretty much been hilarious in everything he's ever been in. He did somewhat go serious in the movie Stranger Than Fiction. You should check that out. It's really good. Both of them in this movie, though, either have moments of being completely serious or completely losing their shit. They're just amazing in this. The basic plot of this movie is that Will Ferrell's character, Brennan Huff, and John C. Reilly's character, Dale Doback, are two 40-year-old adults who never left home, whose parents just met, married, and now they both have to live together in the same house and room. And what I love about this movie is that they both look and act like 8-year-olds. And before we start, you have to listen to the DVD commentary on this DVD. It's incredible. It's John C. Reilly, Will Ferrell, and Adam McKay just making up songs as the movie goes along, and it's completely off the top of their head, and it's just amazing. It's almost like a second movie. Now, Step Brothers starts out with a ridiculous quote from former President George Bush. It then goes on to show Will Ferrell's character, Brennan Huff, and John C. Reilly's character, Dale Doback, living their separate lives with their parents. Brennan's character is making food and watching TV, while Dale's character is playing Guitar Hero. Now, Brennan's mom, Nancy Huff, is played by Mary Steenburgen, who played Will Ferrell's stepmom in the movie Elf. He knew he really wanted her to play his mom in this, and she is just so funny. Now, Dale's dad, Robert Doback, is played by Richard Jenkins, who's been in a few comedies. He was like in Something About Mary and Me and Myself and Irene, and he's really good. But what I really like about him in this is he's either completely calm or just over-the-top insane, really slapsticky. Really, this whole movie is like that. Now, after some time showing both Brennan and Dale, we see that both Robert and Nancy are at the same seminar. Robert's giving some type of lecture about some ear thing, and we see Nancy in the crowd. After some time, Robert notices Nancy in the crowd, and we see that he's just stunned by her. Like, he can't even pay attention. We can tell he's really into her, and she seems to feel the same way. They end up going to one of their hotel rooms and they start making out and everything. They start telling each other about themselves as they undress. And after some time, Robert tells Nancy that he has a 40-year-old son who still lives at home. Nancy tells him she has the same thing, and they end up hooking up. Now they're getting married. We see both Brennan and Dale at the wedding, looking miserable at separate tables. Both Nancy and Robert thank everyone for being there, and thank Dale and Brennan. Both of them just end up storming out of the wedding. This wedding's horseshit. The best of that ever was Steve Buscemi and the wedding singer. They'll be divorced in a year. Love it. Now Brennan and Nancy are on their way to move in with Robert and Dale. Brennan's in the car talking down anything good Nancy has to say about Robert. Brennan's saying how he'll never call Robert dad, even if there's a fire. While this is going on, Robert and Dale are eating breakfast, where Dale is telling Robert that even though they're married, they don't have to live together. After some time, Nancy and Brennan arrive to their new home. Robert comes outside to meet Nancy. Brennan stays in the car because he doesn't feel like coming out yet. Dale comes out to say hi to Nancy and Robert. After some time, Robert and Nancy go back in the house. Brennan finally comes out of the car, has a little stare down with Dale. Dale tells Brennan that he has to call him Dragon. Brennan tells Dale he has to call him Nighthawk, and they just have a little stare down showing they don't like each other. Now we're at dinner and it's awkward. Everyone is uncomfortable. After some time, both parents ask both Brennan and Dale what they do. Nancy ends up telling everyone how good of a singer Brennan is. Dale ends up singing a really offensive song. Brennan ends up making fun of the song. Dale ends up making fun of Brennan, which ends up making Brennan cry. After some time, Robert lets them both know that they're going to have to start sharing a room. They're upset at first, but then agree. Dale takes Brennan upstairs, starts telling him bullshit facts about the house, stuff that a child would tell another child. They stop at a room where Dale keeps his drum set. Dale tells Brennan that the only rule of the house is that he can never touch his drum set. Richard and Nancy are in bed discussing the trip on Richard's boat that they eventually want to take. After some time, it finally gets to the discussion of why Brennan and Dale never left home. Probably should have had this discussion before they got married, but whatever. Anyway, Richard tells Nancy the reason Dale never left home is because he's always coasted off his success. While Nancy tells Richard the reason that Brennan never left home was most likely because of a high school talent show, where Brennan was doing some type of opera song, and Brennan's younger brother Derek and his friends ended up singing Brennan Has a Mangina, which ended up making the audience sing Brennan Has a Mangina, and it just broke him. Derek ended up winning the talent show by lip singing Ice Ice Baby. And what I love about this scene is that it's actually Will Ferrell, like 40-year-old Will Ferrell in a high school talent show. They didn't get a younger actor. Next scene is Brennan and Dale laying in opposite beds, whispering to each other about how much they hate each other and all the evil shit they're gonna do. As soon as your eyes close, I'm gonna punch you square in the face. I love this movie. And now there's tension. They're all on Richard's boat now, and Dale just kicks Brennan over, starting the feud. A montage of all the shit they do to one another, but eventually gets to where Brennan touches Dale's drum set. He just starts banging the shit out of them, screaming at him. Now Dale comes home to find Brennan watching TV. He goes up to his room and thinks someone touched his drum set. Goes downstairs, starts accusing Brennan. Brennan's like, fuck you, I didn't touch your drum set. They keep arguing, but eventually Brennan does touch his drum set with his nuts. Apparently that prosthetic cost $25,000. I don't know. This causes an all-out war. They start fighting. Apparently this was a real fight that John C. Reilly had with one of his brothers when he was younger. They start going throughout the whole house, destroying everything along the way. They eventually get outside where the neighbor's seeing eye dog joins in. He starts attacking Brennan. Brennan's screaming uncontrollably. They keep fighting on the ground. It's amazing. Both parents come home to find this. By now, bicycles are involved. The neighbors are all gathered around. Both parents are trying to stop it but can't. The fight ends with both of them hitting each other in the head with like a golf club and bat. What the fucking fuck? Such a great line. Fight ends. They're both watching TV now. Nancy and Robert come up to tell them both they're grounded and that they have to find jobs. They're both pissed. Now it's nighttime. We see that both Brennan and Dale sleepwalk. They start destroying the house. Next morning the parents wake up, find the house destroyed. Nancy wakes up Brennan and Dale to let Brennan know that his little brother Derek and his family are coming to visit. Brennan's pissed. Now Brennan's little brother Derek is played by Adam Scott, who's really good, and his thing that everyone knows him from is Parks and Rec. But he's been in a lot of things, and I really like when he goes serious, but he's really funny as well. So now the next scene is Derek, his wife, and 2 children in the car singing the song Sweet Child of Mine. This scene might be the greatest scene in the movie. It's cringy and hilarious at the same time. Derek starts yelling at his wife for being flat, starts killing it with the sweet solo, almost kills them all, but they're good. Now, Derek's wife is played by Catherine Hahn, who I just love in everything she's in. I'm not sure if she's done too many serious roles, but I like dramas, but I would really like to see that. So now they're at dinner where Derek's bragging to everyone about the boat trip he was on with a bunch of famous people. You could tell that Dale's dad is just memorized by Derek. Dale chimes into the story that Derek's telling, and then everyone but the mother starts shitting on Dale. Dale eventually goes to meet Brennan in the treehouse where they're both looking at Hustlers. While this is going on, Derek and Robert are talking about Robert's future. He's saying how he wants to sell the house in a few years. Derek's telling him he could sell the house right now. Robert's saying that's amazing. Nancy doesn't like the idea because that would leave Brennan and Dale nowhere to go, but Derek tells them to just think about it. Back in the treehouse, Derek pops up to say hi and shit on both of them. Derek offers Brennan a job, but Brennan turns it down. Fine, I don't care. I love their banter in this. Derek informs them both that he just smoked a joint and is feeling a little spacey, starts looking at the way that Dale's looking at him and says, "Punch me in the face." Dale eventually does punch him in the face and Derek just falls out of the tree. Now the funny thing about this scene is that fall and thud you hear is real. The stuntman really had to fall out of a tree. There was no cushion. So now Derek and his family are heading to the car to leave. Alice stays behind to talk to Dale at the front door where no one can see them. She asks Dale, is it true that he struck Derek in the face? He says, yeah. Alice says that's amazing and that she's going to go home tonight and masturbate to that image and that she wants to shove Dale into her vagina. She's amazing in this. I love her. Derek yells from the car for Alice to hurry up. He can't see what's going on. Alice leaves. Brennan comes out to talk to Dale. They still don't like each other, but they respect each other now. Dale shows Brennan his night vision goggles. Brennan shows Dale his katana sword that he got autographed by Randy Jackson. In a split second, they become best friends. They start doing karate in the garage, having sword fights, watching Steven Seagal movies. They eventually get to Robert and Nancy's room where they ask if they can turn their beds into bunk beds. Robert says he doesn't give a fuck, that they have interviews in the morning. They should be more worried about that, but they don't give a fuck. They just want more room for activities. After some time, they go back to their room and start to build the shittiest looking bunk bed ever. Brennan's laying on the bottom part. Dale goes to jump on the top part. When he does this, Brennan ends up being enclosed in the bottom part. Dale runs into the parents' room to let them know what happens, and it sounds like Brennan's dead, but he's not. It was just a flesh wound. So now it's the morning of their interviews, and they both ask Robert if they can borrow some nice-looking clothes. Robert agrees. They both decide to go to their interviews with this non-fitting tuxedos on, and they also decide they're going to interview as a team. They're there to fuck shit up. So now they start their interviews just messing up the whole time, asking inappropriate questions, getting the interviewer's name wrong. Is it Pam? I love that. It eventually gets to Seth Rogen's character, where it seems like they're going to get the job. They're doing really good, but Dale ends up farting, ruining the interview. So now they have to go home, tell their parents they messed up. They have no jobs. While walking home, they both realize that they should just start a company together and call it Prestige Worldwide. They're both really excited now, but Dale gets upset because he realizes they're walking away home that he really doesn't want to walk. After some time arguing, they decide to walk that way. While walking that way, they run into a group of little kids who start terrorizing both of them, start calling them really inappropriate names that like society doesn't like right now. They tell them to lick up some white dog crap. They both refuse. After some time, the kids start beating the shit out of both of them. It's brutal. They end up back at the house beaten and just broken. They see that Derek's at the house talking to the parents. Derek leaves. The parents inform both of them that they're going to sell the house, sail across the world, and that both of them have to find jobs and go to therapy. It's great. So now Brennan and Dale are pissed. They go in their room. They decide they really have to start focusing on their company, but Dale's going to have to hear Brennan sing. After some time, Brennan starts singing, and Dale looks at him in the face like it's the greatest voice he's ever heard. Brennan stops and just says, sorry, I suck, but Dale reassures him that he's amazing. Your voice is like a mixture of Fergie and Jesus. I love this movie. So they decide they're really going to focus, and they're also going to stop Derek from selling the house. They do this by any time Derek shows the house to potential buyers. They dress up like Nazi, Klan members. They say there's asbestos in the house. They show both of them in therapy, and Dale is pretending to be Will Hunting from Good Will Hunting, while Brennan is going full Tony Soprano, saying how much he loves his therapist. Now it's Derek's birthday dinner where everyone's giving Derek gifts. Alice sneaks up on Dale in the bathroom. They have a quickie. Stay golden, pony boy. So now back at dinner, Brennan and Dale get everyone's attention for the presentation they set up. They tell everyone that they're starting a company, Prestige Worldwide. That's an entertainment company. They show their first music video, which is just Dale and Brennan on their dad's boat with a bunch of girls. Eventually in the music video, it shows that they crashed their dad's boat, destroying it. Robert is just devastated now. Now in the car there's tension. Brennan asks both parents what they thought about the presentation. Nancy says she really enjoys the effort they put in. This just pisses off Robert. Eventually Dale asks if he's going to avenge, which just puts Robert over into a rage. They get home where Robert is just losing his shit, telling them that they're failures. This causes Brennan to lose his shit, start talking shit to Robert. Robert comes down and eventually just starts spanking Brennan. It's great. And I just love how he comes down the stairs. It's one of the greatest scenes of someone coming down the stairs ever. It's Christmas time now and everyone's decorating the tree but Robert. He's sitting on the couch looking miserable. He eventually gets up to go to the Cheesecake Factory. This really upsets Nancy. He comes home later to tell Nancy going out was the happiest he's been in months. After some time, Brennan and Dale come in sleepwalking. They start destroying the tree, the decorations, everything. Robert really wants to wake them up, but Nancy's refusing. After some time, Robert does wake them up. This makes them both go into a frenzy. They grab Robert and just throw him down the stairs. It's brutal. Now it's Christmas dinner. Derek is telling one of his stories. Alice is telling Dale that she wants to have sex with him with her food, writing it in her food. Nancy interrupts to let Robert and Nancy let everyone know that they're going to separate. This causes Brennan and Dale to just start breaking down. Nancy tells them not to blame themselves, but Robert's like, fuck that, it's 110% your fault. Derek agrees. They start breaking down even more, which causes Alice to break down. It's great. Dale can't control himself, and eventually he throws up. This amuses Robert. He starts smiling. Derek gets up to take a picture of all of them. The picture is Brennan and Dale crying with Robert smiling in the middle. It's amazing. Now it shows that everyone's moving out. Everyone's gone but Dale and Brennan, who are spending one last night. They're in their rooms whispering to each other how it's both their faults. This causes a fight. Brennan ends up touching Dale's drum set again. He's actually playing it. Dale comes over and just smashes him in the head with a part of his drum set. This causes Brennan to fall over. Dale thinks Brennan's dead. He starts dragging him outside. Brennan pretends he's dead but gets up while Dale's digging the hole, takes the shovel, hits him over the head. Dale's in the hole now. Brennan starts burying him. Eventually does bury him, starts walking to the house, but Dale gets out of the hole, starts attacking Brennan. They're on the lawn now. It's morning now. They both awake and they tell each other they're no longer brothers and they're going to go their separate ways. Brennan gets a job at his brother's helicopter leasing spot, and Dale gets a job at a catering spot. They're both living their separate lives now. They show that they both get apartments, are doing finances, getting supplies for the house, going to bed early. Now Brennan, feeling good, asks Derek and his friend if he can run the Catalina wine mixer. Fun fact, there really is a Catalina wine mixer now. Derek says fuck it because it's a win-win for him, but lets Brennan know that if he messes up, he's out. So now it's the Catalina wine mixer. Everyone's having a great time. Brennan hired Dale's catering company, invited Robert and Nancy. Robert and Nancy are now talking. While they're talking, Brennan and Dale come up, start asking how one another are. They bond for a little bit, but then they both head out. Robert and Nancy begin to talk. Robert tells Nancy he thinks that Brennan set this whole thing up to get them back together, but Nancy can't handle that and just walks away. So now the band that Brennan hired, Uptown Girl, the Billy Joel doo-wop group, is being harassed by one of the audience members. The singer eventually loses his shit. The whole band is escorted off stage. Derek is pissed. He fires Brennan. Robert and Dale come up to Brennan to talk to him. Brennan tells him what happened. Robert tells him not to worry about it, but Brennan's like, no, you don't understand. This is the Catalina fucking wine mixer. Robert tells Brennan and Dale that they should do their thing and go on stage and perform, but Brennan and Dale are like, no, we can't do that, that's kid stuff. But Robert's like, I really miss how you two used to be. Also, fun fact, that whole monologue about don't lose your dinosaur and what he used to do as a kid was completely improvised by Robert Jenkins, like with just a little help from Richard Jenkins, I'm sorry. Dale agrees. He goes on stage and starts playing the drums and doing the song Boats and Hoes. The whole audience starts booing at him. Derek and his friends start screaming Dale has a mangina. This really upsets Brennan. He runs up on stage to help his brother out, puts on a tape that he just so happens to have on him. Brennan starts singing a beautiful rendition of an Italian song that I can't pronounce. This causes the whole audience to be in awe. It makes Robert and Nancy find their love again, makes Derek realize he really loves his brother, and it makes both Alice and Brennan's psychiatrist realize they really like them as well. And the whole audience is just in awe. Song ends, everyone's happy. Derek comes up to Brennan later, thanks him for everything. They try to hug, but it's really awkward, but they're really cool now. Dale tries to end things with Alice, but it's hard. Now it's 6 months later, and it's like Christmas dinner again. Derek's trying to tell a story, but Robert interrupts him, asks Dale and Brennan how the business is going. It's like a karaoke thing now for bar and restaurants, but the thing is you have to be really good to sing. Robert and Nancy tell Brennan and Dale to go outside to show them their Christmas gift. They go outside to see that the Gilded Lady is now in the tree as their new clubhouse. They go up there excited. They see that it has like crossbows, pirate hats, and Chewbacca masks. The kids go up, everyone's super happy, and that's the end of the movie. So that's the movie, and it's a really great comedy in a time of really great comedies, and it's great to go back to these movies, especially now when there's so much tension and everyone walking on eggshells. And I want to rate this movie really fairly because yes, it's a great comedy, but at the same time, like, I want my movies to rate fairly. So I'm going to rate this movie 3.5 stars, and I'm really happy with that. So okay, this was my video. I'm so sorry these been taking forever to get out, but I'm going to try to get them out sooner. And okay, have a great one.
Drinking sangria,
nachos, lemon heads, my dad's boat. You won't go